So let's clear this up then. You said you're the world's strongest man in natural.
But it's quite rife with people
played around with it in training because I was coaching him at the time.
Have you done any kind of like quirky little things to try and get that 1 or 2% gains over the time of your career?
I'm very boring, and I will
Creating a space that we like and we would, want people to be in type of thing. Are we going to have that anymore? Is that gone?
Thank you so much for stopping on the podcast. We really do appreciate you taking your time to spend some time with us. We have found that a lot of people who stop on the podcast aren't actually subscribed to us, and we really want to help the podcast grow to help more people's performance and well-being. Because at the end of the day, there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people out there who need to hear the messages that our top experts are speaking about. So if you could simply leave us a subscribe, leave us a follow, or even just leave a like and a comment, it would really help us grow and really get the podcast out to more people.
Right guys, welcome back to another episode of PerformWell podcast. We have the Barbell Division team. We have Tom Butts and we have Daniel J. How we doing today, guys?
Hello, good.
Yeah, very good, thank you. Thanks for having us. Yeah.
No worries.
Day in Southampton.
It's a lovely day in Southampton. It's sunny today, isn't it?
I wish it was. I was seeing all the cruise terminals down at the bottom. I was like, how sad it must be getting off a cruise ship, coming from somewhere beautiful. And you come here and you go, it's what I expected all along. I saw some people wandering around the walls. I was like, it must be the loveliest tour on
They
the
look
planet.
so happy though.
I know
They do.
How delighted they are.
What a beautiful place.
We get some that they're not from here, so they're getting off like it's a holiday destination here. They go up to London or whatever. But yeah, welcome to the UK.
Welcome to the
People
UK.
come to visit the gym and they're like, what is there to do in Southampton? I'm like, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, literally, what do you say?
Train.
Yeah,
Just
Come
train.
down to my gym and
that's it. That's all you've got. Yeah.
Do you know what, I'm really excited about getting you guys on because Barbell Division, I've told you before this, is where I saw Danny Morgan do the crazy Murph challenge.
48-hour Murph, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what Murph is?
Yes.
Yeah, he did 30 Murphs in 48 hours?
I can't remember how many he got through, but yeah, it was just continuous for 48 hours. Like he slept overnight, but it just was pretty much non-stop.
Right.
But yeah.
And then we got Tom, strongest man in the world.
Something like that, yeah.
You guys just seem to, build the most prime peak athletes. You've got Danny Harkins down there, by the way.
Donny Harkins
Yeah.
trained there as well.
This guy trains him.
Hold on, you've got you and Thomas down there as well, haven't you?
Comes down ours, yeah.
All of the
For
athletes.
years, yeah.
Yeah.
Got a good mix of guys and girls down there, and I think it's just the environment and the stuff we've got down there sort of attracts people that actually want to get themselves pushed to new limits or whatever. It's a good. I've enjoyed being there since I started, but I got loads of crazy strong, crazy athletic people there.
Now, I want to get into, obviously, you guys' story, but Aaron Page was, I believe, one of the founders of Barbell Division.
Myself and Aaron started the gym in 2018. We're actually only around the, Base Point, around the corner?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Started in one of those units. So obviously he was competing in Strongman, I was competing in powerlifting, and we both came over from the same gym and just decided to open up our own place more. So it wasn't even like really a business venture, I wouldn't say. It was just two mates like yourselves just kind of wanting to start something. And so we started up. We had a little 700 square foot unit, and we just were having fun, really. Like, obviously we were having members come through and we had clients, but for the most part, whenever we took ourselves too seriously, it would always just go tits up. Like, you know what it's like, trying to build a business and take yourself too seriously. But then whenever we just have fun with it or enjoy ourselves, it always seemed to come back on us. Started from there, built up. Next year, as in 2019, moved into a 5,000 square foot unit and just been growing it ever since. Obviously 2020 we lost him. And then the gym past that, obviously initially, like I said, it was about myself and Aaron just enjoying it, creating a space that we like and we would, want people to be in type of thing. And then after he passed away, it was kind of like, are we going to have that anymore? Is that gone? But now it's kind of a lot more about his legacy and creating that environment and getting people to kind of feel what it was like to have him around and stuff like that, being at the gym. Went on a bit of a tangent.
No. That's what this podcast is for, and this is what we want to talk to you guys about as well. Because as you say, I didn't know Aaron personally. I heard of the story over COVID because it came in the local news. And I think like the first time I came to Barbell Division, it's such like a family environment in terms of like you guys are a family, you're a big group, you support each other that come in there. It's not like when you go into a commercial gym, it feels sometimes quite hostile. And I feel like that makes it difficult for people coming in and training.
From the outside looking in, I feel like it kind of looks like a hostile environment because it's like strongmen meatheads. Do you know what I mean? Like spit and sawdust. So it's great when people do come down and have a session at ours. I'll get people still who will be like, I'm not quite ready to come down to yours, as in like, oh, I want to get stronger because I'll be embarrassed to come down. And then you'll come down, there's like just every Tom, Dick and Harry training down there kind of thing. Yeah, it is a good environment. I'm very proud of the environment that we've created. Kind of intentionally and unintentionally, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We always say we have a no dickhead policy. So like if people come down, you kind of sense that they're a bit of a, you know, I don't know what swearing's like.
You can swear as much as you want, mate.
Yeah. If someone's a bit of a cunt, they kind of get weeded out. Like it's almost like they don't want to be there. Yeah.
That's interesting because, again, you know it from like commercial gyms. And I take you guys, did you start in commercial gyms when you started training?
I mean, I've been quite blessed in that I did train in commercial gyms, but when I started powerlifting or strength training, I was always in strength training gyms, powerlifting strongman gyms. But yourself?
Yeah, I started in I think it was my first gym was like a leisure centre gym. I joined the gym group. I've done that both as a PT and a member. But I was lucky, I went to university and Loughborough University, so they had all the best sports kits. That's when I thought, oh, strength training. So I saw lots of these Olympians or powerlifters, and I was like, fucking hell, they're lifting way more than I am. I thought that'd be cool. That'd be cool to deadlift 200 or whatever. And it was, worked my way up to that. And then, when I left uni, came back down to Southampton, it was like, let's find a proper gym that's got the kit I want. And that's when I found the barbell. So that's how I joined there through wanting a better environment, better stuff to train on. Yeah.
What a choice of gym.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Good one.
Yeah. So let's clear this up then. You said you're the world's strongest man natural.
Yes, my title was the natural world's strongest man under 90 kilos. So that's my weight class that I'm in. But I've been fortunate enough to win that 3 years in a row now. So that's been a time I've maintained it, which is good. It's this Fed Natural Strongman, which is fairly new. It's only 4 or 5 years old now. And they sort of, strongman, if everyone knows, but is quite rife with people taking it. It just never really was. There was no federation that wanted to test anyone. And I think strongman always started out as like, you can't do this. Watch these big guys who are way bigger, way stronger than you, have way bigger, but you can't do what these guys are doing. And so it was a spectacle and a circus. And so it was fine to have the guys doing it, take whatever, because it wasn't about a sporting, fairness. It was just about, let's just see some crazy stuff. And then I think people are realizing now that strongman actually is quite a fun way of getting involved in like health and fitness and strength training, and I think definitely should have a bigger mass appeal to getting involved as like the high rocks and the CrossFits that you see. I think there's no reason why you can't have a lot of people getting involved, and one way to sort of encourage a lot more people is to not have, right, to beat them you've got to be 6'7", 180 kilos on lots of gear, but you can have women's pathway, weight classes, natural federations as well. So natural strongman has quickly risen as like the biggest natural fed that you have in the world, and they've put on loads of, they're really stepping up the mark in terms of the production value, the arenas we've gone to, sort of the stadiums and whatever that we've been to compete. And first strongman comp I did was just for a bit of fun. It actually was for Danny Morgan's birthday. That's an interesting story.
Was it?
We go into, but we'll go back to that. But so strongman's really fun. I'll give it a go. And then thinking, right, I'm a natural 90 kilo guy. I'm not going to go compete at World's Strongest Man you see on TV. So you find the natural pathway and just went through there, and not looked back since. It's gone well.
I think we'll go on to the Danny Morgan bit then. Go and talk to you a little bit about that.
Well, so it was
I was just going to say, it was supposed to be his birthday, and you wrote me into doing a strongman comp.
So it was basically I always said to Danny, like, I think it would have been after the Murph challenge. I was like, oh, you should do a strongman comp. You'll be doing it. And we played around with it in training because I was coaching him at the time. I was doing bits of vlog, bits of this. And for his birthday, I just signed him up without him knowing to do this comp.
Really?
But then I think he was away or he couldn't do it because he obviously had other plans. But I was just going to rope him along. I wasn't going to tell him until the day, just drag him there and be like, oh, you're competing today, by the way. But he couldn't do it, so I was like, oh, fuck. A few of us were doing it anyway. I was like, oh, Tom, jump in, you'll be fine, you can do it. He's like, oh, I'm not into strongman. I'll be like, oh, don't worry, it'll be great. Like, we've already paid for this entry,
Yeah, I think you said like, oh, it'd be great. It'd be a bit boring if it's just me and Danny gone there. So let's try and have someone in each weight class. So we're always cheering someone on because over 2 days as well. This competition, and so yeah, I just got roped in. So yeah, I'll give it a go. I think I'd been a bit of powerlifting beforehand, and I sort of was getting a bit uninterested and bored of that. So I was trying some weightlifting, other bits, and he's like, "You do a strongman comp." All right, yeah, I'll give it a go. And then, then thought, this is a lot more fun than powerlifting, and really got me hooked straight away.
Did the first day, won it in category, and then the other weight classes were on the next day, and so he did he's a higher weight class on the second day and won that as well. So
really,
yeah, came in the next day. We had an athlete, Hayley, was doing the open women's on the Sunday, and I'm looking at the athlete area, and there are loads of women, not very many men. I was like, have you had a lot of dropouts? I went, yeah, there's not many open weight men anymore, so we're sort of mixing the 105s and the opens together in one big comp. I was like, oh, can I jump in? I could be, yes. Oh yeah, just jump in. Yeah, be fine. I was like, yeah, I don't know if I can do anything with weights, but I'll jump in. And then I won that one as well. So then it was like, oh, maybe I'm alright at this. Maybe strongman's my thing. So then I signed up for like Hampshire Strongest a few months later, and then it was like, yeah, cool, let's have a look at this pathway, try and get to England's and UK's, and beyond there. So yeah,
do you know what's crazy? Like with strongmen, obviously, like if you look at the world's strongest man, they're obviously going to be weigh like 400 pounds or something, along those lines. Like absolute strength relative strength tends to be lower when you get bigger. Is that right?
Yeah, compared to body weight.
Yeah.
So the lighter you are,
destroy someone in early. Lift for reps body weight.
So pound for pound though, you're up there.
Yeah. Well, as well, like
amongst those guys.
This is why I said, Tom should come on, because I can toot his own home horn probably more than he can. But like with a lot of the moving events, like the sandbag events, like Tom will give a lot of the open guys a run for their money. I mean, obviously, like World's Strongest Man guys are a little bit different because it's their full career, but you'll get a lot of open weight strong men who will say struggle to shoulder a 150 sandbag, and Tom will throw it up and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, some of the events, especially the moving stuff, a lot of the strongmen can be a little bit lazy with. They were like some strongmen you were literally saying the other day, or we were saying the other day, you'll get who are like,
fake powerlifters. Like, you're a powerlifter. Eddie Hall was kind of like that, where it's like the 1 rep max deadlift, the 1 rep max squat, the press is what he really focuses on. And really, it's like you kind of you don't like traditional powerlifting. That's kind of what you should be doing. When it comes to like now go run with a sandbag or carry this Husfeld for max distance or something, they're a bit like, no, I'll train that a couple of times before, but I'm going to do loads of deadlifts and loads of log, and that's going to be my thing.
That's the thing with strongman, for my opinion. Like when I was younger, I thought, they have no fitness whatsoever. But I've seen the way Eddie Hall moved and the way they all move. Like it's astronomical amount of stamina.
A little bit, especially with the like introduction of more weight classes and that, and it is a lot more dynamic in that. Most comps you will have like a max effort event in terms of max weight, like a max deadlift, max log, etc. But then it will be log for reps, or you'll have like some type of moving medley. So if you aren't conditioned, you're going to be left behind. It's just even like doing something for an AMRAP, you've both done it before, it's exhausting. Like regardless of how strong you are, if you're not prepped to do, a sub-maximal weight for max reps, you're gonna just gas out, aren't you? So it's interesting.
Yeah, do you think Ford got the 501 kilo deadlift before? Not obviously got 510 recently, but when he got the 501 to beat Eddie Hall, and Eddie Hall was claiming it was fake weights.
Yeah, of course he got it. Like he got it. It's like I just think that was. I mean, Eddie's clearly very intelligent as well, and I think it was just more like marketing hype to like generate some interest. But I think that was more around, did it count because it was under Thor's conditions, really? As in, not so much like, was it actually 501, but like, again, when you train if you're like perfectly primed to do a max deadlift and then you turn up on the day and they're delayed, so you're having to wait, or you take the pre-workout, like I've done comps and I'll take pre-workout, warm up, and then they'll be like, sorry, we're going to do like the awards first, so you won't be on until like 5 or 6 hours. And you're like, I'm off my tits on caffeine right now, I'm ready to go. Like, but those things happens in competition, so it's kind of like, because he didn't do it under strict conditions, or like, the conditions of a promoter, does it count? Like, it's like a gym lift. Like if you hit a max deadlift in the gym, I guess it's different for you guys, but like for us, if we hit like a max in the gym, does it really count, or only count?
Yeah, you got it.
It's interesting, isn't it?
They just had for a powerlifter. They just had COVID exceptions. Like, it wasn't a comp; you could do it in your own gym. Yeah. Some federations were like, they had like Tom Stoltman had tried like an Atlas Stone world record as well, like in his own gym on his own stone. Yeah. And because it's like lockdown, you can't go have a comp. They were sort of like, well, I guess it's fine now. But I guess Eddie was just there, like, I don't think no one's really contesting. It was 501. He listed
interesting
it.
To know.
It's more
it's interesting to know because there's that guy on Instagram who films himself do the deadlift behind the knees. don't know what you call that lift, but it's like
I know what you
yeah. And he did more than 5'10".
Yeah.
So he's stronger than 4 at the dead. Obviously, I imagine it's a different hinging pattern. Is probably
And if you've trained that pattern, I guess Paul could do it if he trained that pattern. I guess
just have no idea what that would feel.
No, I did. I have no idea.
Well, it must be horrible.
I'll show you a video later. His like back's curved round like a fucking gorilla.
It must be really nice. Like think about it going up your calves though. It's like a massage, really, isn't it? If you think about it, you're not grating your shins. You just kind of massage.
You'd struggle with your ass. It wouldn't go past your ass.
It wouldn't go anywhere. I'd be stuck, mate. I wouldn't be able to hinge up. There we go. There's a limiting factor. The size of people's glutes.
Yeah.
It's always going to get in the way.
Strongman and powerlifting is the only sport I haven't really dived into.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I don't know if it's because I'm 6'4". I'm just being a pussy about like the
limb length and all this stuff.
And you'll be the perfect strongman.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. I would love to see you at 160.
I wouldn't want to be 160.
No, I don't know how
most
you do
of us 118, and that fucking hurt. My knees were killing me. Like I'm from a military like fitness background, so for me that would be the opposite of what I like. Yeah, it would just be so awful. But I do like the idea of like doing it one day, even at a level just to feel what it's like.
Yeah, 100%.
Because then I can take it off. I'm about collecting it.
You can do the comp for it. Yeah. I mean, I was close to doing it because I built up to one when I was in Pure Gym for my first couple of years, and I was building up to do a powerlifting comp. I was friends with Tommy Galpin and Matt Portelli. And I was training with Tommy for quite a while, and I remember we came in to see you guys, and we did a tandem deadlift in there. Yeah, why not?
You're like, we hit 501.
Yeah, we got the world record. I think we got 400 on it because I think his total was like 220 and mine was 200 at the time. So I was like, well, we can do 400. Anyway, I was building up to it and I ended up getting injured. And I actually wanted to talk to you guys about this because I think one of the biggest things you hear about strongman powerlifting is the amount of injuries people pick up. Yeah. Is that true? Like, do people doing that kind of comp pick up more injuries? Or is it something where people just for years have not been taught well enough to then lift efficiently?
I think that's actually a really good question because it's difficult because I kind of want to sit here and be like, oh no, it's not as there's so many perimeters around it. You don't get injured. The sport is fine, but it is kind of, especially strongman and untested strongman, it's definitely part of the sport. Like every single competition, somebody will tear off a bicep or something. It's so ridiculously common. Yeah. And just the idea of that happening is horrific. So, but it is kind of part of the sport, not in that you're going to jump into it and it's going to happen. But at the top end, I guess that people are just pushing themselves so much. It's kind of part of it. And like I said, the untested side of it, they're going to be more prone to tears, etc.
You've got the two sort of parts to it. So one of the untested strongmen, the open weight on what they're on is not helping their tendons, and that's where you get the snaps and things. So you see it a lot less common in natural strongman and weight class stuff. And then with powerlifting, it's with strongman, you sort of always mixing up what you're doing. It's very rare you're doing the same exact movement, even like a deadlift. It might be in every comp, but you might have an axle, you might have a barbell, you might do a ladder, it might be from a raised height. It always changes. So as you get powerlifters get overuse injuries is a lot more common. So like, rotator cuff or knee or whatever, because you're trying to push the same pattern again and again and again all the time.
And as well, you have a little niggle and you can't deadlift for a few weeks and it's the end of the world if you're a powerlifter. You've got those three movements that you've got to focus on. So if you pick up like a little niggle in the gym, there's always like workarounds. There's always ways to move around it. Whereas like for a powerlifter, it's kind of like, I've got to do these three movements to max effort. If I can't do one of them, well, I'm useless kind of thing. If you twinged your back and you can't deadlift anymore and you're a bodybuilder, it's like, I'll just do something else for my
Is that why they like people that start getting stronger, they start putting knee straps on and stuff like that quite early on their progression? Or...
Well, I guess is it necessary? I think it's because it's comp standard, as in, say for powerlifters, you can wear a belt, you can wear knee sleeves, all of these things. So it's like, why wouldn't you want to put them on? But it's like kind of a newer thing where you get a lot of younger powerlifters coming into the sport now, and they'll kind of immediately go from zero training background immediately into doing max effort squat, bench and deadlift, high frequency squat, high frequency deadlift, blah, blah, blah. And, putting all this gear on immediately without building a base. And again, in my personal opinion, it's just like, well, what's the point? You're not going to be doing this forever. It's a hobby sport.
Yeah.
Build some type of base, or even like athleticism. Like, again, I'm not shitting on powerlifters, but you get a lot of young guys coming into the sport and having zero training history or even athleticism and being like, I'm going to do squat, bench, and deadlift and bulk. It's kind of like, well, you're not going to be doing this forever. So kind of maybe look into other like realms, or just get too stuck in just one, plane of motion.
What are your thoughts on CrossFitters and the CrossFit like philosophy of training? Because obviously they do a bit of powerlifting as part of their...
I think it's more akin to strongman in terms of you've got to be good at lots of stuff. And strongman, there's no definition of what is a strongman event or comp. So we could run a strongman comp and put whatever we wanted in there. You could put some CrossFit stuff. You could put a bench press in there if you wanted. I think CrossFit's kind of similar, but they've adopted some strongman lifts as well. I think the first strongman comp I did was sort of bolted on to mainly a CrossFit event, and they came over and they had a log event in the CrossFit. So it was like, reps at quite a heavy log they were doing. And so I don't think I'd ever be that interested in going and taking part in a CrossFit competition or going to a CrossFit gym, just because there's lots of other things that I'm just not that interested in with it. Yeah, like the kick and pull-ups or the run, like a lot of long distance runs and stuff as well. I'm like, it doesn't interest me right now, but I like the idea of like, let's be athletic in quite a few different ways. I think that does interest me. But in terms of the philosophy, like how CrossFit is trained, whether there's any proven long-term protocols or methodologies about how you become a CrossFit and how you get good, whether it's just like you're taking bits of strongman, bits of powerlifting, bits of running training. If it's just a combination of that, how do you put it together? I'd be ignorant to say that it's shit.
Great. Yeah. Like at the top level, they're like incredible athletes, like ridiculous athletes. Like, so I'm watching some of have you watched the documentaries, what they called that they put out every year?
These are quite old now, these ones, or...
I don't know if they do it every year with them. I've watched quite a few of them, and each CrossFit Games they'll like put out a documentary, and they're always like, fucking hell, these are incredible athletes. But then like at the lower levels, when you've got people like, trying to do Olympic lifting movements after 3 or 4 sessions, it just looks awful.
They're not the best they're not the best at anything, but they're amazing at a lot of things.
Yeah, but at the top level it's incredible, but then at the bottom level, if you want to call it that, it's just a lot of movements that I feel like are probably not the best. But then again, socially, it's getting people training. It's great. Like, people are getting in the gym. There's a good community aspect of it. So that's a good thing. But again, personally, it's just not for me. I'd rather I would say it's a better sport to get into at an entry level if you were to get into strongman, because it's the same thing. But I guess
I think High Rocks has now taken the flack that CrossFit used to get. So
yeah, High Rocks
probably kind of moved into High Rocks right now.
Yeah, I don't really know much about High Rocks, to be honest.
It's to be honest with you,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's a gym racing.
It's gym racing.
It's more of a run. It's an 8-kilometer run, but
like gap.
split into
with the rest.
Yeah, but it's like, really being a good runner is probably the most essential skill for that more than anything else. But yeah, it's not.
It's strange with High Rocks as well. I love the emergence of new things, and I love how it creates little tribes as well. I think things just the High Rocks, for one of them, blew up. CrossFit blew up, didn't it, when they all started, and you heard a lot about them when they first began. Probably the same thing with strongman and powerlifting. The powerlifting surge post-COVID, that was crazy. Like, I was part of that surge.
The garage,
yeah, and everyone was just getting into it. Strongman surge, when people start see people lifting. I'm Bibby, he calls the surge of strongman stuff again with his lift. So all these kind of things that create these wonderful tribes and communities that come between them, doesn't it? It's only when you go on social media you get all this like intertribal war between people trying to depict who the strongest or what the best is. It's crazy, isn't it?
Calisthenics, like they've all got their own culture. Calisthenics culture is super tight.
Yeah,
like
calisthenics culture.
Calisthenics, because as you said, like you did powerlifting culture in lockdown. I did calisthenics. Like, and the community's so tight. Like that, like, oh my god, the fucking level of detail that I pull up needs to be good.
Oh, what? And it won't go towards anything.
Yeah, and so I went into CrossFit with that in my background.
Yeah,
and you saw him going like this.
And
I had to do it for the mirth, just because I was falling behind everyone. Yeah, and I didn't want to fall behind, so I had to start doing it, and I fucking hated it. It rips your hands and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, I think I can respect all the different disciplines. I don't think I'd go, shit. I think maybe when you're younger, or you just more ignorant you are to something, the more you just think, this is rubbish or whatever. So I think anyone who actually gives a shit about training would do well to be like, I'm sure the calisthenic guys have got it right of what they've got it right at, because they're the best at this one thing. Weightlifters are going to, like, CrossFitters think, I'm just as good as a weightlifter. Maybe respect the weightlifters, and their weightlifting is going to be better than how you do it. And maybe that strongman can respect the CrossFit athletes for they're a lot more conditioned and they can endure a lot more than you can. And so everyone will always have a bias towards what they want to do. But, I think the fun thing about training is, and people find like different waves and tribes and stuff, is you can kind of find your own thing that suits you the best, or you like doing. There's a place for all of it.
Would you say it's genetic that causes people to go into the sports that they are like right now, for example, is because you genetically just strong as fuck? Or it's because you just you just, I don't know, was it, what was
I think I found strongman through basically an accident, really, because I sort of went, I did a bit of powerlifting at Loughborough Uni, so I was like, I'll come back and find like a gym that's got proper powerlifting kit, like the plates and stuff. Oh, the Barbell Division's not far away. I'll come and train there. And it's like, oh, do you want to just come do this strongman? So you find stuff randomly, I guess. Maybe you could be like, oh, when I was younger, I was a bit like, I need to find what I'm genetically most suited to, and then I'm just going to go train that. I think this website was like, find what Olympian you're most like your height and weight and stuff. And it would put me as like a long distance runner. I went, I'm not fucking doing that. So I didn't go to do it. It's like, so American, 5K athlete. Like, nah, that's not me. So,
you never know, mate.
Then I guess if you're genetically suited for something, I'm very competitive, so I want to win whatever I'm doing. So if I find that sort of more easily or naturally I'm winning something, it'll stick with me and I'll just hammer that and keep going.
I think with like any programming or getting stronger, it's mainly about adherence. So if you're enjoying the process, you're going to get stronger or you're going to do better at it. So it's kind of like if you find this niche that you really enjoy, regardless if it's High Rocks, CrossFit, you're going to get fit to do better at it regardless of the programming anyway, if you adhere to it, like long term, isn't it? So, but I think with the kind of, would you go into a sport that you're genetically gifted at? It's kind of like with you're not a strong man build because you're not 6'4" and 150 kilos, so it's kind of like you kind of have to find these things. And like I was saying about the powerlifting thing, just actually try out different things. Don't just get like stuck in one little thing and be like, oh, this is the best sport in the world, because there's so much more out there. Even with like powerlifting or strongman, there's different federations who do things in different ways as well.
That's the curse though, like you said about being competitive. I'm the same, but obviously there's things that I'm not amazing at, right? But I like to think I am, so I try my best. And the problem with this is that then I go into different sports, I fucking get obsessed about becoming amazing at it, and then I get bored. And I'll find another one, and then I've just got this kind of hybrid
ADHD.
I think
I think that's a little bit.
Yeah. And so I like to call myself a hybrid athlete.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean, it's good. It's got a term now.
You're very much hybrid. You're hybrid with a hybrid. Because you have done so many different things over the years.
Military training, right? Military is the ultimate hybrid.
Everything.
You have to get it fucking everything, apart from like strong lifts. Like you're not going to fucking lift that out of the stone in military. You just need to hold fucking ammo cans and make sure you can fucking shoot the enemy. Yeah. That's the main thing. So it's mainly body weight and running and just carrying weight for long distances. That's the main draw. Yeah. So when you do that, you kind of just enjoy things that kind of replicate that. And there's been nothing apart from maybe CrossFit to some degree, because mainly they put fucking vests on and start doing stupid high repetition pull-ups, etc. Followed by extreme powerlifting movements when you're completely fatigued. Yeah. Which is kind of where the injuries can sometimes happen. Like,
but that's it. Doing like a movement as complex as like a snatch or a clean and jerk.
Yeah.
Under fatigue, and then especially at the lower levels when you've had little technique training on it, it's just a bit like.
It's frustrating as well when you see. I mean, as I say, it can get very culty on social media, and I'll bring it back to that point because I think that's where a lot of younger lifters probably fail to hit the mark, because they'll go into it, they'll watch their favourite person lift and go, I'm going to do that. But they don't go into it with a coach, with a program. They don't understand to follow it through. Granted, the first coach I got for powerlifting, I ended up getting injured on the program because I think it was just way too much volume for what I was used to. And it just broke me basically at that point in time. But this is when I was doing my squat. So a little bit of context. I herniated a disc between my L5 and SI, ended up with like sciatica for like 5 to 6 months. I still think it was a squat that caused it, just based on the squat pattern that I was doing right then. I could not hit below parallel, but being a low bar squat, I was like, parallel's fine. That'll do. But then I didn't have the range to support if I drifted out of that range. So all I was ever doing is I feel like I was basically just making my SI joint and L5 get a shearing force straight through it constantly. But there is always, as I say, injuries that are picked up. You guys have probably had your fair share over years gone by. I don't know. Maybe you're not. Are you injury free?
I'm coming back from fracturing my sacrum, so that's what I'm experiencing. But I'm pretty much there.
Full or
that was just down to too much training load. I was prepping for a powerlifting comp and a strongman comp, and I was squatting 3 times a week, deadlifting twice a week, doing like yoke and fucking shit like that, and benching 4 times a week and all this stuff.
What? How do you? Wait, you fractured yourself from volume? What?
Yeah. I think it was just too much load on my spine. I was just doing too much.
Was there no warning? Was there warning signs?
Oh yeah, I was in agony for weeks. I was like, I'm prepping for these 2 comps. I'm just gonna keep.
You had David Goggins in your head, like,
yeah, exactly. Who's gonna carry the boats? Yeah,
carry the boats, man.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I've had like, and what is it, like a ridiculous proportion of the population herniated discs and don't even
1/3 of the population.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's just common, like regardless whether or not you're training or not, those things are going to crop up. But like you say, poor movement patterns and then ignoring warning signs as well is like a big thing, isn't it?
Is there a warning sign? You know, you said earlier about bicep tears. Like that's always a fear of mine with deadlifting, right? Especially with the split grip. Are there warning signs of that?
I don't know if there's a warning sign in that but like don't do mixed grip. Like that's literally, you see it all the time. Like people tearing their bicep from mixed grip when there's other options. Like if you're not competing, just use straps. Like it's just, you don't need to onto that. What is the use in it? You can do hook grip or you can just, go double overhand, but I don't think there's warnings. Like there's preventative measures you can do, but things like, mixed grip, for me, I'm just like, just don't do mixed grip.
People hate doing straps for some reason. They're
if you're not competing, just wear straps. It's fine.
Like, some people struggle with the straps.
I know. They're like, I'm working my grip. I'm like, so many other things you can do to work your grip.
Exactly.
Just use straps.
Just do your warm-ups, double overhand, work your grip, and then use straps.
I'm exactly the same as you.
In powerlifting, it's different. Like, some people get into a good routine of doing, mixed grip, but they've got more exposure to it. That's their only focus. But yeah, the bicep tear thing scares the hell out of me. And you get it a lot with stones as well. People tearing the bicep on stones is super common. But again, you mostly see it with untested athletes. So.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that because I think that is definitely one of the main things. I like, for context, I took steroids when I was younger, so I'm not a lifetime natty, unfortunately, even though I don't look like one. I tore my brachioradialis doing pull-ups, 60 kilo pull-ups, whilst 120 kilos myself, and that was because of the trend that I was taking. Made my strength go like that, and I went from like 100 kilo bench to 135 in 4 weeks. And after that, I started noticing little pains and stuff in my tendons, and it happens. So it's good you fucking brought it up.
I just think obviously the kind of steroid debate is an interesting one because the strength gains are obvious, but there's not all the other factors surrounding it that is talked about. I think the most important, like the biggest thing, is the like social aspect around it, as in how you end up emotionally, psychologically, all those things whilst taking things. Obviously me and Tom are natural, but we see it all the time with guys in the gym or girls in the gym who have taken things, how it affects them psychologically. Being on, obviously having like a massive increase in strength is great, and then you plummet if you come off, and just psychologically I think it's an interesting conversation that isn't really talked about enough, because everyone I know who's done trend, for the most part, 8 out of 10 times have cheated on their missus or something like that. So it's like a big thing, do you know what I mean? And it's like, it's kind of like, it's not talked about enough. But then also if you're getting into a relationship who's with someone who's on those things, I think it's more important that it's out there, so it's people are aware of these factors. Like, oh, I'm going to be going into a relationship with somebody who's on a shit ton of steroids. It's going to be emotional. Like, are you ready for that? And they should be more upfront with it.
It's true. It's so hard as well, because it is, again, another thing that people don't want to admit to. I mean, we were talking to Marchenna yesterday about it. She's like, there's a lot of people she suspects are on it who don't talk openly about it. A lot of people we probably know who are on it that don't talk about it, because I think people just don't want to feel like they're cheating the system, quote unquote, do they? And that's the big problem with it. But I think if there was open honesty about it, I've never taken it myself, but if there was open honesty about it, I think people would still understand. If you're like, I'm going for this comp to be the best at this, you'd be like, okay, calm.
Or it's just a choice that you're making. But I think it's I don't think of it as, if you're competing in a tested federation, you use it, you're a fucking cheater. But for people who are competing in either nothing or something that's untested, then it's like, go for it. You're willing to make that step to push a little bit further, but it's just, there's so many factors around it that aren't really talked about. Like, the health factors are obvious, but just everything from the cost, it's a drug at the end of the day. And I think I was talking to someone the other day about it, and you look at it because it's for health or fitness, you don't think of it as a drug. So you're like, oh, I'm doing this for health and fitness, but really you get a lot of people on so much stuff. They're addicts. They're actual drug addicts. Like, they're taking more and more stuff. With each month that goes by, they'll add more and more and more and more and more, and they get addicted. And then it's like, oh, okay, this is time for an intervention, maybe, or like,
I guess, like, as well, like for me, is again being competitive. I think probably a lot of the usage stems from, well, I want to be bigger or want to be the best or whatever that comes. So then it's like, it's very hard to take it with common sense or like in whatever dosage you need. So let's say I'm doing the natural strongman stuff. I compete untested as well, and I do the untested feds too. If I next year will be going to official strongman worlds, which is the biggest untested weight category strongman stuff, and I think I'd have a better chance if I was on these compounds. So you go, right, let's say I go, you know what, I'm going to start taking gear. That's what my decision. I'm competing in strongman, and I've got to get beaten by a guy who I know for a fact is on more than I'm on. Then I would go, maybe I should take more. I mean, why don't I not just as much as him? Why don't I take more than he does? Then I can beat him. And then it becomes either I'm not on it at all, and that's just where I am, and I'm a natural, and that's just it. Or if I'm taking it, why wouldn't I just take the most I possibly could get away with, kind of thing? So
like,
yeah, it's not about it's not common sense. It's like I need to take as much as possible, because if I'm going to take it, I might as well get all the benefits and whatever. So yeah,
I think it stops being a factor of like, oh, am I eating enough? Am I sleeping enough? Is my programming right? Am I training hard enough? Am I training too hard? All of these things. I feel like that it doesn't go out the window, but it becomes, am I taking enough? What's the other guy taking? And do I need to bump it up a little bit? They're probably taking more than me. That's why they're, doing so well, blah, blah, blah. It's not anything to do with genetics or whatever. But I think far too often people will jump on that earlier than sorting out the basics.
Yeah.
Are you sleeping enough? Like, I think it's like people will go and do like, I don't know, cryotherapy or something before they actually sleep like a decent amount or eat a decent amount. Do you know what I mean? They try and get all these little things without even ticking off the basics. Like,
so in some ways, weight loss jabs, similar?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know enough
it's
about it.
interesting because it's not just. I feel like it's not part of our culture at all.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
strongman and powerlifting, and that's kind of what our sphere is. It's just I don't know.
I like that though. It's such a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Not having to talk about fat loss for 1 week.
It's always lovely for us. Yeah, pleasure.
All this industry is fat loss. Everyone cares about just losing weight.
It's money oriented.
I want to keep weight. I want to gain. I want more weight. Give me more weight.
But arguably, we were talking to Craig Swinton a little while ago, and I saw him. Do you know Craig at all? Apex Coaching, used to be at Spartans.
No.
Anyway, he's a bodybuilder, and he actually jumped on weight loss injections to help him in a mini cut. Do you think you'll start to see it in strongman and powerlifting for people to meet weight categories?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, untested without a doubt. I'm assuming tested is just not allowed. I'm assuming it's on the prohibited list.
I'm not sure. I think it would be on the prohibited list.
It should be, really, shouldn't it?
Is it a performance enhancer in some way?
But it would allow you to.
Well, it's like, for instance, you're not allowed. There's laxatives banned.
Wow.
In my federation anyway, because obviously it's a weight loss. So if you're trying to get into a weight category, people do laxatives to. So certain compounds like that. I think they even test for like the plastics in your blood or something along these lines if you've got an IV. Because you're not allowed to use an IV for rehydration as well.
Because microplastics is a concern.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't know if you know about the data of it. I don't. But apparently,
I'm going to talk about it.
We're all being leached with microplastics, even right now.
It's like a chopping board. You shouldn't use a plastic chopping board.
Yeah.
A ton of microplastics.
I do have the water filter in a plastic tub jug, unfortunately.
That's also just Anglian water, not Anglian water, southern water in general, isn't it?
Wait, I think it's better than having the fucking tub water. It tastes like shit sometimes. Apparently your water's the better. Water on the other side of the river, it's better.
Yeah. I only drink bottled water. I don't know why. I just hate the taste.
Fiji water.
Yeah.
Enhanced Games, Olympics next year.
Oh,
have you heard about that?
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Excited about that?
Yeah, just watch some freaks that do like 100 meters in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll start seeing? Let's say Usain Bolt was in this era still. Do you think he would go into the enhanced?
No, just because of the stigma.
I think if you're Usain Bolt, you've got a lot to lose to make that decision, haven't you? So I think what I'd assume is the people that are sort of on the cusp of making it, but no, they're not. Oh, do you know what? I'm 27, 28 years old. I'd never made it as a 22, 23-year-old. I'm still kind of there. It's like, yeah, I might take a lot of stuff and set the sort of the no rules world record or whatever. I've seen a lot of controversy around it, and I think it's interesting. I think you said about like, people being maybe discreet, not saying they take stuff or lying about taking stuff. Again, in this sort of like our gym, but gyms like the Barbell and the strongman community, I don't get a feeling that anyone's really like hides behind it. So my experience with it has been people are very open and honest about it, and I think that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with taking it You know, there's more sensible ways to take it. There's less sensible ways. Some people should be taking it. Some people should be waiting a long time. You took it too early. And the more discussions you have around it, the better. So the enhanced games are interesting because their message is kind of like that. And I can see the sort of thing of like, well, if it becomes big and becomes a proper rival for the Olympics, then kids are going to be like, oh, there's more money in that one. That's cool. This guy did it faster. Yeah. It's like a 17-year-old goes, I'm going to start taking Trent now, you know.
Ewan, who obviously goes to our gym, competed in the Olympics, he's quite against it. Like any talk of steroids and everything, he absolutely hates it, simply because he has competed against people who have taken steroids and then beat him, and then he's lost out on a medal. I think they were awarded a medal recently. There was like a thing that he went to because the people who he was competing against in a relay.
Yeah, it was 400 4x100, wasn't it? Yeah,
Team
they got done for obviously doping.
Yeah.
Then they gave them a medal, so he's so anti against it. So I imagine within the Olympic community, it's like, this is trash. What are you doing?
It's unfair.
Yeah,
it's unfair if you're in a natural federation and obviously someone's cheating. I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think often, like I was saying, with people who are super transparent about it, it's almost like the people who aren't transparent about it are the ones who aren't a problem anyway. Like you wouldn't even know they're on kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like within, I don't know, but I would say powerlifting or strongman. If there's a few people who I know are on stuff who have competed in, you know, tested federations, but they're so low level, or they're just doing, you know, local things, and they're not even really that strong that it's kind of like, oh, well, you're not a problem anyway. Because we're on the...
That's literally what happened to me, man. You mentioned earlier about like people take it to try and become the best at the sport, right? So when I did bodybuilding, I did a show naturally, and I fucking just got destroyed, mate. I'm like, I just didn't... Maybe I didn't have a few more years of me and training wise, but whatever. So my instinct was, let's go on a cycle. Like, because one of my mates said, go for it. So he said, test 400 and Trent for the first cycle. What a stupid idea that was. Now, don't get me wrong. Look, I got jacked very quickly. In my eyes, I got jacked anyway. Competed again and still got beaten. There's obviously more to it than just taking steroids.
Yeah.
But I saw that pattern happening, so I stopped from that point on. But it is exactly what you said. Like, you just want to beat the person in the sport, and because everyone else is doing it.
Well, especially if you think everyone else is cheating it, or if everyone else is in a natural fed, but you think they're on gear still, then you're like, well, it's not, and I'm not cheating that much. If everyone else is doping, I think everyone's doing these things. So I think that with natural strongman, I'm quite confident not very many at all, if any, are doing it, because especially when you've got a fed where, if you have that for the Olympics, right, we've got the Olympics, which is drug free, then we have the enhanced game. If it becomes like you can make similar money or whatever in both, then it's at least like it stops people cheating in the Olympics a little bit. Yeah. You go, why would you go and take loads of trend to win natural strongman?
There's no money or incentive.
It's just like, oh, you want to win the sort of against people who are natural when there were so many more opportunities for an untested federation.
But then it's also frustrating because Tom won. Was it Brits? You won an untested event, so there was obviously guys using it, and then the comments are like, oh, well, it's clearly on gear. Or like someone will post it, it'll be like, I don't know, natural strongman winner or whatever, and they'll be like, well, no, he's obviously on gear, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. The comments are mental, so I get quite pissed off, and I've replied to comments and be like, I've known this guy for years. I've literally, I haven't watched them piss test him, but I've been do you know what I mean? Well, there's I nearly missed a flight because he was too busy being piss tested. I couldn't. Just couldn't, performance anxiety, just couldn't.
Oh, fair.
With natural flies, that's a bit suspicious. You definitely got a piss.
Yeah, come on, guys. I personally jabbed him, for fuck's sake.
I know, we planned this perfectly. But yeah, it's just, everyone assumes.
I hate it when that happens. Yeah. Like, it's bullshit. Like, you can tell, I think we've been in the industry long enough to know who's natural, who's not. Like,
for sure. You can tell,
And unfortunately, a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Like, it's
all the other way around, and people are just completely oblivious to that goes on. Yeah. Like World's Strongest Man, people assuming, or like, I know people who assumed that Arnold as in
natural completely.
Like always, like, oh, I want a really natural, attainable physique like Arnold back in the day. Like, wow. Okay. Literally, somebody's told that to me.
Have they?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Bodybuilders, though, back in those days especially, I don't know if it's the same now, but Arnie started off as a powerlifter. Or he started as kind of a strong man kind of thing, like he was doing heavy bench and squats and deadlifts, etc. And then he built such a massive fame from that, and then carried it over into bodybuilding.
Well, I saw an interesting video recently talking about that as a base, where it was like, who was it? I don't know who posted the video about it, but it was like saying, oh, of course you've got like bodybuilders like Ronnie Coleman, who was just doing like ridiculously heavy training. Everything was just horrendously heavy. Yeah, buddy.
Lightweight.
Exactly. It was just mental. But then you've got people like Jay Cutler that it was like super light, you know, reps on reps on reps on reps, never really to failure, but they were both equally as fucking massive. So
we had this conversation with Pac, didn't we?
We did, yeah. We also, actually, one thing to come on to, Pat O'Dwyer. Do you know Pat?
Yeah.
So Pat O'Dwyer, he's recently gone from strongman to bodybuilding now, hasn't he?
I forwarded videos of him to my mate and being like, how is he so jacked?
I know.
Like, all of it feels like that, but it's not. It's like and he had like a ridiculous base, but he's ridiculous.
But he's gone from strongman to bodybuilding, and actually, didn't Thor and Eddie, they shredded down quite a bit, didn't they? I think Thor definitely did.
Yeah, but they did. I think they did it for the fight. Yeah,
it was for the boxing fight.
It's just they'll have a ridiculous amount of muscle mass underneath it, and bear in mind, like Eddie at his heaviest was like what 210 kilos or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, he shreds down to like 100 kilos. He's gonna be jacked. There's a lot of muscle mass.
His abdominals are just him. He looks a beast.
Like implant.
He looks a beast. Just out of just because his abdominals.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's when Aaron was competing at Brits. I think it must have been the first or second year he competed at Brits. It was Eddie's last year there. And honestly, it was the strangest thing in the world. They kind of wheeled him out like a circus act. He had like chains on him and stuff. This is for Britain's Strongest Man. And it was properly like a circus show thing. And he would do each event and won, like, you know, so I don't know if he won all the events, but he smashed each event. And then he would come backstage and they had him on oxygen and like his whole team around him with fans around. And it's just crazy that was like, you know, he would do a medley, smash it, incredible. But then backstage, he was like on oxygen, fans around him. And then at the end of the of Brits, he said like, "Oh, I'm retiring. You know, I've taken like, you know, my life has been about this, but really my health is so bad. Blah blah blah. I want to still be around to like, you know, pick up my kids and that." And all of his family crying, and it's like, wow, what he sacrificed just to do, you know, lift 500 kilos is crazy, and people don't see that.
Oh, we talked about the deadlift event where
this was at Brits, so he had just done the deadlift, 500, and then a few months later he did Britain's Strongest Man as his last comp.
It means nosebleed. How often do you guys see like nosebleeds from training?
I don't think I've seen any.
That's probably more of an untested thing.
Yeah. All of the bad
the blood pressure's really high. You're like, oh no. I think people are prone to it. There's Shivlikov is a Russian strongman, and every time he'd do a deadlift, he'd always his nose would go. I think people are just prone to it. Yeah, but yeah.
I have had my eye blood vessels, my eye burst before on leg press, like a heavy leg session. Yeah,
my first when I won
it's bad.
When I won Brits as a junior, I competed, did the comp, blah blah blah, and me and Aaron went up to Edinburgh, and we're driving back from Edinburgh at like 2 a.m. We stopped at a service station. I went into the toilets, and it looked like I had chicken pox. My whole face, just every blood vessel, my eyes were red. I said to Aaron, I was like, what the hell? Like, what's wrong with my face? And he's like, yeah, man, it's really bad. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? I didn't realise. And he was like, oh, I just thought you knew. I was like, geez, how long is it going to take to go down? He's like, oh, it won't go down. Like, it'll be like that forever now. And I was like, are you serious? He's like, no, I'm joking. It'll like take a few days. You'll be fine. I was like terrified. It looked like I had chickenpox scarring.
Do you mean we still got it?
Yeah.
But it's crazy in the world of strength, isn't it? Because these are the kind of things, as you said there, you forget about the sacrifices people are taking to get to the elite level. And like, we've had the steroids conversation now, but even arguably the level of training that you have to push your body to. I do triathlons. I'm more a triathlete. I've done strength stuff. I kind of like quite enjoy the cardio side now. Yeah. But even the level people go to do the Ironmans, that kind of stuff. There's a guy I've been watching who has literally, he was like, oh, I'm going to try and qualify for the World Championships. He's just picked up so many injuries from the repetition of training that he's been doing, but that is just something that comes with it. Do you think there's a cut-off time for people when you say they've picked up X amount of injuries during a period of time that you just got to say, look, dude, just stop?
Yeah, I mean, that's tough, isn't it? I think saying to someone just to stop if they like love it's difficult, but I don't know. I don't think there's anyone that I think like, oh, they need to just like knock it on its head, call it a day. But there are some people who, like, we know people who have come through the gym and they're like, I want to be world's strongest man, I want to be Britain's strongest man, I want to do this, do that, and we're like, oh, okay, cool, and then you'll see them train and you're like, no chance. Not just because of the strength, but just because of like the adherence, the longevity of it, you know, all of these things, the way that they train, the way that they behave. It's just like, you haven't got it, and you just want to kind of shake them and be like, enjoy the training, compete in it, but it's not going to happen. Just because
a lot of people feel like they think if they sort of for a very short period of time, literally, like, if they just try hard enough, like, you're doing a deadlift, you think, if I just really, really lift it, it will come up kind of thing. Or I could be world's strongest man because I just want it the most. And one, you don't want it more than other people do. Everyone wants it a similar amount. It's a bit like, I don't know, if you think like, you sort of see like a pain tolerance, or I'm a celebrity, like fear challenges. Like, I could zone that out and I could just be there and get something done. I think a lot of people just think they have that dog in them or whatever. They can just do anything. And then it comes to, no, it's not about that. It's about your technique. And you practice and the skill and the consistency. And I go,
and knowing when to push hard and when to not. Like, you said about training, sometimes you'll feel things in training and it will be a bit of a niggle and you can push through it. And sometimes it's like, you just call it a day hit. But then also, like, a client of mine was saying, like, oh, I've got a max distance Husfeld, which is just a max distance carry in a competition. I'll chat to Tom because he's really good at it. I'll get some tips off of him. And I was like, honestly, all that he does that's different from anyone is he will just go to absolute failure. Like, he will die before he drops it. And that's in training, not just in competition. Everyone will do this thing, like, myself included, where it's like, oh, it'll be there on the day, or like, oh, I'll do this. And, with the max distance, I'll go like just shy of failure. And then on the day, I'll go to absolute failure. Never happens. So it's like, do like with the max effort events, it's like, do it in training. I think that's the biggest difference, having done both strongman and powerlifting. The difference in powerlifting is like, it's really a sport of like doing as little as possible, but to gain maximum amount of gain. Like, if you do a max effort single and it feels really good, that's a good thing. Like, you want it to feel easy, you want everything to feel smooth, you want your peak to run perfectly, and then everything feel easy on the day. Whereas like strongman, it's like, you want to push as hard as you physically can. You want to, like, for the AMRAP, you want to leave nothing in the tank. For the max distance and stuff, you want to leave nothing in the tank. You want to do it safely and go to technical failure, but you want to push.
Yeah, I think it's more like with people, strongman is like, oh, these athletes, so you've got the endurance or whatever, and people go, oh, Tom, you've got good cardio. Because when it comes to like max distance carries or rep events where I've got to get reps over a bar or whatever, people go, oh, I tend to win those events, and they're the ones that suit me best. It's like, oh, you must have like really good cardio. I go, my cardio's shit. I can't. You ask me to run a 5k over half an hour, I'll be happy. Like, I can't. I can't endure for a long period of time, but I've conditioned myself, and it's the conditioning of like, for 60 seconds or 75 seconds, which is normally the time limit for any strongman event. I will go to that and I will get to there. And my body now for 60 seconds can do whatever.
Mentally as well, you're prepared for like, oh, okay, this is gonna.
Yeah, it starts getting a bit hard. Like, it's just like if you're doing like anything sandbag related, right? Picking up a sandbag, loading over a bar, you start wheezing, everything's painful, you think, oh, my lungs, and it's easy just to sort of give up on it. But in strongman, it's like, the nice thing is like, I get to lie down for 10 minutes after this, so I'm going to just give me 10 more seconds.
That's what you do this for.
There is a lot. I do. I take my sessions can take. People go, how long are you in the gym for? I'm like, well, it depends, because I'll say like 6 hours. Right. They go, oh, do you know? I'm like, well, but it's not. It's like I could do it. I could do it in 2 hours if I was like.
It'd be like a time lapse of like Tom doing a set. And then it will be like 20 minutes of him on his phone, like, and then it'll be like another set. And it's like, guys, this is optimal.
When it's time to do the set, we do the set.
Then work hard, play hard.
Exactly.
That's what it's about.
So actually, you fit into the stereotype of the strongman, where they're in the gym, they get the camping chair, pick their feet up.
We've got a camping chair at the gym now. Yeah, it's good.
Is that to stimulate blood flow?
Yeah.
It's not for comfort reasons. No. That's amazing though, because I mean, there was loads of content that came around that was all just like, what do people do when they go in the gym? Powerlifters obviously whipping out the chairs to have 7 minutes rest, and it was a strongman literally pulling out a pool duvet to lay on a back during set. But you need it, and I think this is where people miss out when they're training. They're like, I'm going to get strong. I'm like, your muscles don't work that quickly. You're not doing reps. You need to have a break, and you need to take the time. I had someone doing a max front squat today. Max, I always put it in quotation marks, because when it's a client who's not of the competing world, I always say their max is, they're not going to die in a session with me. But a true max, and Lane Norton said this, he said, you will never know a true max until you nearly pass out mid-rep. Like, true max, nearly where the rep kills you. Yeah. And I think, didn't he said something about doing max reps on like 100 kilos of a squat or something like that, and it's just pure death at the end of doing it, if you're doing max reps, isn't it?
I haven't done it in a while recently, and it's something I'll introduce like in programming, where like every other week, say that you've got, I don't know, a top set of 100 kilos on squat, and you'll do like a back off, like a 10% drop, and you'll have like a plus set, as I'll call it, every other week, where you'll do an AMRAP. And it just kind of establishes a baseline of people to kind of know where their true max is. So say you've got someone who's doing like their front squats with like 100 kilos and they do like a top single and it's quite tough. And then especially in untrained people who just don't have a gauge of RPE or where their strength really is. You do like a 10% back off and you do an AMRAP and they get 10 reps. It's like, well, that top set of 1 clearly wasn't that hard, was it? So then it just gives them a base and even confidence to be like, oh, okay, going into next week, I just did that for like 10. Yeah. I can go up. I'm fine. I'm comfortable.
Yeah. We had that with Harry a couple of years ago on squats. Yeah, she was squat max be about 200, and then it was like, all right, do a heavy triple. So the heavy triple would be 180, do a couple triple, and then I'll do a plus set AMRAP at the end. And then you got 7 or 8, like 180. Think, oh, you've got 8 reps at 90% at the end of your session, maybe. And then suddenly after doing that, you realised, oh, I've been reading my RPEs and RIRs have been all wrong. And actually, I'm a grind, because people are different. Some people, you look like it's easy fail, and some people are like that. And some people can grind through lots of like horrible looking reps and keep going.
Thomas Platz did, mate.
Yeah.
Like 30 reps at 250. Just repetitions till max failure.
That was actually meant to be fake, apparently. Do you know?
Was it?
What was?
So apparently that was, who was it? Kazmaier said, because he was spotting him on that. He was like, no, that wasn't real. Those fake weights. They were all.
Oh, wait.
I feel like I'm bad saying.
No.
Tom Platt's record
The
is
quad
huge.
barber.
Yeah.
The quad father who's going to come get me. Yeah, but like there's videos of Bill Kazmaier. I don't know if they've just got beef. But he was like, no, it was fake. It was just a.
Yeah, if Bill Kazmaier told you in confidence, then that'd be shit to reveal it. If you just seen a video of him online,
No, he's definitely out there. The angle is weird. It's like so that was like I'm pretty sure it was for like they used to do like powerlifting comps, and in like it was on TV, and in the gaps they would have like feats of strength. Doing it that way.
I've not heard this 250 for 30, but I could tell you that was fake just here and there.
Oh no, but then, there's somebody.
I don't know the exact number.
The guy, ABS guy, did it. It was 240 for 24 reps.
I think I listened to some YouTube motivation video once, and it was Tom Platz going, "Never lift under 20 reps, always above 20 reps." Like, there's no need. And then Mike Mentz is the opposite. He's like, train to failure on one set, 45 minutes, 3 times a week.
Again, like it's going back to like it's adherence. Like if you believe in this, we talk about it a lot with like programming and stuff. It's like if you buy into the process, you'll gain so much more. Like sometimes you might lose confidence in a coach, and it's not so much the programming, but it's you're losing your like confidence. You're not buying into the process. Like if people like I would love to program in like isometrics for people to do, because the amount that you gain from it's massive versus the trade-off of like actual fatigue. But there's no buy-in. Like me programming in someone to go into a commercial gym and have an empty bar and just pushing it into a surface without it moving, like going to absolute failure, just like that in a commercial gym. It's like it's just they're just not going to want to do it. You'll look like a twat. So it's like there's an element of buy-in. Like bodybuilders will train like say a specific movement year round. Like they might do a single arm lat pull down constantly, and they'll just chip away at that, or a leg press. But like powerlifters or like in programming, there'll be an expectation to rotate like accessory movements or compound movements around every block, when it's like there's certain movements in that you could just keep there, but as a coach you feel like for buy-in you need to rotate stuff, like you need to move stuff around, or people
you're charging
like,
a lot of money for writing a program,
and they're like,
you keep it the same.
I've been doing this for like 12 weeks, like what the hell? And I'm like, well, you haven't really
Sometimes they say 4 weeks, and it's like, I need to change.
I have it all the time where people are like, when's my program change? I'm like, change it 4 weeks ago.
Change it, they don't like it. It's like, no shit. Like you fucking.
Or like I've been doing this a while, and it's like, yeah, but you haven't got enough out of it. We're still kind of even learning the movement.
So when I did my degree 14 years ago, it feels so long ago now. I did all my scientific like basis of training then. Like now, like throughout the years, it's mainly based on like what I've seen in the gym, and I've kind of come away from that a little bit. So when I say this, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was to do with what we were just speaking about. And I've lost my train of thought.
Yeah, I was watching that happen in real time.
Yeah, he was slowing down, and your brain shut down. You know what? That was a window shut down that just happened.
What were we talking about just then? Actually, I was about to I was trying to get it back.
What
was it?
You were learning from
we were learning
training methodologies from where you were
when you were
methodology. Okay, so with program change, right? There's if you've got exercise, you've got reps, you've got sets, you've got volume, intensity, etc. What is the first thing that you want to change in a program? Like, you don't want to change the exercises all the time.
If a powerlifter, I think for most people come to us because me and Tom coach together. I think its frequency is immediately the thing that we look at.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, like the volume people are hitting is fine. The intensity, everyone really wants it to begin with, and then it slowly trickles off, but that's fine. I think frequency is usually the thing that needs to change the most, especially with powerlifting. It's a big thing at the moment, super high frequency, like people doing like SBD sessions every single day, 4 times a week, squat, bench, deadlift. It's super fun. But for the most part, that's the current trending powerlifting, that you'll do like squat, bench, deadlift 4 times a week, or you'll have like your frequency will be like 4 squat, 2 deadlift, 4 bench.
It's crazy.
That's just the common. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, flashback 10, 15 years ago, you would have like a lower body day, an upper body day, blah, blah, blah. And that's super common in powerlifting. And then the same in like strongman, where like, we'll like a client will come through and it's like, okay, like Tom, we've like pushed his like overhead frequency for like, you can just train up like overhead every day.
4 times a week or whatever.
It's just fairly normal, and he's accustomed to it. So it's like, it's not so much like finding like doing the maximum amount of frequency, but what works for people. And again, buy-in. Like if we were to say to someone like, oh, okay, you're going to squat every single day and this is going to be great for you, how long are they going to want to do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like even, again, with the squat every day thing, you look at like the Bulgarian method, or specifically the Bulgarian method, it's like they were training, that's all they had to do. They were just training in a training hall with a coach, and in between those sessions they were told to do active rest, which was just to sit there doing absolutely nothing, and then they would max out their front squat, their snatch, their clean and jerk, etc. And then people will try and follow that program, that max effort program that like won loads of Olympic medals, in a pure gym after work. Do you know what I mean? On their own, listening to Eminem. Like, it's just not the same thing.
With no diet, with no actual diet plan in place.
No. And because my partner's father was a wrestler in the Olympics in Bulgaria in the 70s, and so they would train with the weightlifters as well. And he was saying it was like a case of, oh, okay, so do you know the Bulgarian method? What it's built on?
No, but I know Eastern European, like, sport is just ridiculous.
So basically the Bulgarian method was Abajayev, the head coach, would basically make them max out twice a day, every single day, like 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So you come in the morning, you'll max out your clean and jerk. You come in the afternoon, you'll max out your snatch. Next day, you'll come in and you'll max out your high bar back squat. And then it was just max. That's all they did, work up to a true max. And if they didn't, actually hit a max, or if they didn't beat their best max, it'll be like, you're not training hard enough. Like, this is ridiculous. And so if consecutively they just failed or they couldn't hit a max, then it'll be like, okay, more drugs. And if they didn't have more drugs, and if it didn't work, then it's like, okay, you're off the team now. And it's literally just a case, and then they'll get in someone else. And you have to remember, in that environment as well, they're all from like super poor backgrounds. Being like an Olympic athlete in Bulgaria or like in Eastern Europe in general is like such a huge thing. So you think that just the buy-in of them being like, I have to hit this max, like I have to hit this front squat because this means a lot to my family, it's going to mean that I'll get money, blah blah blah, all of these things, versus your client this morning who had to hit a max front squat. It's just a completely different thing.
Do you know what, the Eastern Europeans though, this is actually Russia in this case, which you could argue is European or not, but they invented for general physical preparedness, didn't they? GPP, and that's like the complete opposite of the max. It's just high repetition, high volume. There's something about that Eastern like block of Europe that just invented the most disgusting training methods.
They're not when they train in Russia, where they used to like, those like TENS devices. They would put the devices on them while they were lifting. If they would get like a specific part of the movement wrong, they would like shock them, which I find amazing. So you're doing like snatch and you're like just slowly going through it, and you're like bending in the wrong way, and they're like, I just find that hilarious to do to like athletes.
I have now. The thing is, I bought a TENS machine not for that purpose.
And try it.
There was I don't know about that. You're paying me money to come in for the session. Sorry, you done it wrong.
No, I did it in Russia. It's got
I should be like that. They did it in Russia. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, I bought one to stimulate period pains because calm period pains, whatever you want to use it for. But obviously, if you don't have them, it just contracts the muscle. And I had
being left out.
Yeah, I was being left out. And I had a client who was using it on me. They're the weirdest things. They are the weirdest things. And again, it depends what setting you go on to. But I was like, okay, well, I'm going to try this and try and see how it feels when you're squatting. So my goal was to do 10 reps, getting up to setting 10 to do a squat. It is fucking agonizing.
You're doing it while you're squatting or beforehand.
Whilst I'm squatting.
That's basically what they did,
and it's mad. It's absolutely mad to go through that. one of the clips went viral. I'll take the views, and I earned like 15 quid off it. I was like, brilliant stuff. But it's a mad thing to throw that in there. Do you think that's something that could be used? I'm not saying like in a positive way, but do you think it is still used at all?
I'm sure it's used, but again, it's just that buy-in thing. Like, is it worth it? Like, you have a client come in. Is it worth the buy-in of you setting up this machine, attaching it to their quads? It's like, yeah, it might gain like a little bit from their training, or like, they might see a little increase in things, but like, are they sleeping well? Are they eating well? Are they doing? Is it worth doing all these tiny nuanced things if you're not even doing the basics?
It's good. It's good for injuries because I got my lady with the ACL surgery, and she's been using it to re-engage her quad muscles.
Yeah.
As she's starting to like go through the stages of her rehab. And yeah, she uses it for that purpose. Yeah. It's really effective.
Perfect. Yeah.
I did want to ask Tom as well. Have you done any kind of like quirky little things to try and get that 1 or 2% gains over the time of your career?
I'm very boring, and I will just practice the thing I need to be good at and just do that again and again. And I think a lot of I'll take it back to strongman and what I do, but I think a lot of people think strongman is a saying like it's strongman, not smart man. So it's just like be big and lift a big rock, and that's all you need to do. But it's actually very technical, and especially when you have to be a bit more like CrossFit, a jack of all trades, a master of none. But you have to be a master enough to become a jack of all trades, right? And so I think a lot of people go, yeah, I can kind of do that, and they tick the box, they move on to the next event. But if you want to be winning world titles or big comps, you've got to be really good at what you're doing. So I get a bit anal about, right, let's really analyze what's going on and make sure I get the technique right and I'm practicing it again and again. So I think a lot of people move on away from like, I don't have to comp specific stuff all the time. And I'm like, no, this is what I'm going to be doing in 3 weeks. I'm doing this comp. I'm just going to run again and again and again. I'm practicing. I know exactly what time I'm going to get on the event, how many reps, whatever. So no, in terms of weird, quirky stuff, I tend to like, even like people get sports massages. I don't really do that. The only weird thing about us is we're vegan. That's what we're
vegan. That was actually another topic I wanted to come on to. Have you always been vegan, or is this something like recently, or?
Yeah, I think just over 5 years now I've been vegan. Dan's been vegan a lot longer.
So you're the strongest man under 90 kilos that's vegan?
Yeah, well, I'm the strongest anyway, but I
just
have to be
vegan. The vegan's just is it
all this time we thought me was the answer, boy.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Well, funnily enough, in our gym, there's with all of the vegans essentially the most, what would you say?
Decorated.
There you go. We've got Amelia, who's at the gym, who's also vegan. She's won lots of titles in powerlifting champion. Myself, you've got Tom. We've got a weird bunch of. I don't know. There wasn't like some postcard I sent out to all the vegans in the area. They seem to. It just happens. I'll be like, eventually, it's like, oh shit, you're vegan. All right, well.
Yeah. Do you think it has helped performance?
But we can say no.
I would say, I don't know. It's tough to say. I'm very much of the stance of it makes no difference either way. Like if you're going to say in order to be, the best athlete in the world, you have to eat meat. It's just bollocks. Like it's just not true. And the same way, if I say like, being vegan, has it made me a better athlete? Like, I don't know. But it's kind of like, I think the choices are less in terms of like, I'm not tempted whatsoever just to eat crap all the time. Like, but there still are like a lot of vegan junk food options. But I think
I'm used to them. Yeah.
I think when you look at like the numbers on it, like more often than not, vegans are going to be healthier just because they're more health conscious. They care more about their bodies. They care more about things in general. Whereas like, we're doing it for a bigger reason than just, ourselves kind of thing. Whereas if you're like, I don't know, I'm competing in this competition and, the willpower to do this, I just want to cheat on my diet or whatever. I don't know, I think more often than not, I don't know, most vegan people are going to have a better willpower than the average person.
I wonder if there's any carnivore dieters that are strongmen.
I think they'd pass out.
I think the consensus is a carnivore diet is usually quite shit. As everyone says a vegan diet is. I think what I learned was that when I first even considered going vegetarian or vegan, I say it was in Loughborough on the powerlifting team, and the initial I sort of mentioned it, but they're like, but like red meat, like you're 5-10% stronger eating red meat. It's so important. And I was like, okay, I guess I can't. That literally for about a year put me off. I didn't even think about it again. I was like, I guess I need to, I don't want to sacrifice this, my hobby, powerlifting. I can't sacrifice it being vegan. I think maybe what it does is it's just different because if you go vegan because for different reasons or whatever, it might for me, my diet wasn't a big thing. It was always just like what I wanted: protein and calories. That was what it was. Hit your protein, hit your calories. And then when you go vegan, you sort of, I've got to think about these micronutrients, and I've got to make sure because everyone's telling me it's really hard. I've got to plan it really well. So it gives you a bit more of an education, understanding of nutrition. Yeah. So maybe it's not the eating a vegan diet is making me stronger, but maybe I have benefited indirectly from it. Potentially, not
like
necessarily.
When people will be like, "Oh, don't you have to supplement X, Y, and Z?" And my answer to that is like, "Well, so do you." As in, you're taking creatine. I'm sure you're taking a multivitamin. Same thing. Like it's exactly the same thing. I'm not doing anything really special in my diet, or Tom's not doing anything special to like, I'm just conscious of my macros the same way everyone else is, and you just kind of, having calculated stuff over the years, as in like counting my macros. Now I kind of have like an internal clock. That I'm just like, I know roughly what.
You know what it is. You don't have to track it anymore, do you? The interesting thing. Go on, you go.
Oh no, I was just going to say, how much protein do you have a day? Like, what's your protein target? And how do you get it in?
Well, just like through, just food. Like, it sounds ridiculous.
Is it? Do you take a lot of protein powders, or do you generally just get it through?
I have one for breakfast every morning. I have a shake, like an oat peanut butter protein powder, soy milk shake, and it's about 75 grams of protein in that. I think per day I probably. Again, I don't track very much now. I sort of just know the meal sizes I have and roughly what I have. When I did track, it sort of just carried over, but it's probably just over 200 grams of protein a day and about 4,000 calories is where I'm.
That's actually not bad. That's a good ratio.
Yeah.
In terms of protein to calories as well.
I think protein as well, like I'm not a bodybuilder, so it's not the end of the world if protein's a little bit lower for a strongman. I think carbs are what's important. So you look at the carnivore diet, and you want to be like an athlete and you really care about energy, like they're not having any carbs, it's all keto, then actually it's not the best performance. You look at you long distance or more anaerobic stuff, you still need the carbs to perform. So in veganism, you've got plenty of carbs and all the carbs you want.
Of course.
Good. So that's my biggest. It's probably 200 grams protein and over 450 grams carbs, and then the rest with fats.
Trying to gain.
That's my favourite diet.
Fryer chips every night at the moment, like
really? Easy though, isn't it?
As much
peanut butter,
as I can cram it. Peanut butter. We got like vegan Nutella's a thing now.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Future, yeah.
Honestly, there is so much vegan.
Wasn't vegan Nutella? Oh no, because it's got milk in it. Right, my bad.
I don't know what it is in there.
It's got like, I think it's like whey. It's like whey or something in it. But the interesting thing is, and you guys talking about this, we've had my partner, Connor. My partner's a vegan ice hockey player, and she is fantastic at the sport she plays. And like when I first met her, I was like, "When did you go vegan?" When I first met her, it was back at like just the end of COVID. So she's been vegan about 5 years, going on that point now. And like when I first met her, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like I'm from my dad comes back from the butcher's with like 6 steaks in hand. He's like, we're having steak tonight. That's the kind of vibe that I came from. And then I met her and started speaking to her. I was like, it's actually not that hard. Like it isn't.
That's why I struggle talking about it these days, because it's just so, it just seems just such not an interesting talking point for me in terms of like what I eat, because it's just like, just eat food. Like I don't, like I'll have something that's protein based, I'll have something that's carb based and some fat. And like, if I get to the end of the day and I'm like, I haven't had much protein today, I'll have a protein shake like everyone else. For me, it just seems so like insignificant. And it's just like,
And if you want, I don't, people go, do you have any cravings of anything? Like, do you miss cheeseburgers or this? And I go, no, because I can have cheeseburger. I can have it every day. You go to like the junk food vegan aisle and you say this is all terrible for you, but it's all terrible stuff everywhere.
You can get
it's like, I mean, go to Brighton, you get like there's a Greek pitta place and everything that's fully vegan. There's Mr. Whippy vegan ice cream on the beach. You got like there's a fish and chips. I forget what it's called there, but it's like I can have. When I was younger, it was like fish and chips and a Mr. Whippy. That's like the best day ever. This is the best food. I can just go and get that as a vegan now. So people think, you enjoy your rabbit food, and it's like
how's the fish and chips?
I hardly eat any grains at all.
Like genuinely, I'm like, if something was bad, like if I try a burger and I'm like, this is fucking shit.
Yeah.
When you get those burgers that are just like bits of like carrot, and it's just rubbish.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's so different. You'll go to places and the fish and chips, genuinely, I would give you like this fish and chips and you wouldn't really know the difference.
Yeah.
There was a thing that we did with Ewan was down at the gym and he was like, should we order some food and blah blah blah, where would you go? I'll have some vegan food. And I was like, I know this hot dog place that does like normal hot dogs and vegan hot dogs. Why don't we do a thing and you have to guess which one's which? And he's like, sick, let's do it. We ordered these hot dogs in, and he made this video for his Instagram. He's like trying the hot dogs and he was like, they're all really good, but I think this one is the non-vegan one, because I don't know, it just tastes like it's different. They're all really good though. And I was like, well, they're all vegan actually. Sorry, man. Like, you genuinely can't tell at this point.
No.
Yeah, I think for me, when I first went vegan, it was like, I think 10, 12 years ago now. It was like falafel, was it? I hate falafel. Just because it's like, that was like the only thing that I could eat. I'll go and I'll just eat falafel.
Well, it's like Greg sausage rolls, for example, is like the best thing I can relate to on this one. Is that sometimes the vegan one's better than the meat one.
Greasy.
There's also like with the meat one, like there's that gristle you get, the fat. Sometimes it's stuck in your teeth and it's just horrible.
So that's the thing as well when people are kind of like, oh, why are you making this thing that's like meat or like it's not a sausage roll, blah blah blah.
Favorite argument,
and it's like, oh, why would you want to eat this? It tastes like, and I'm like, I'm not an idiot. Like, I know this food tastes good. Like, I've not got some switch in my head where I'm like, oh no, fish and chips doesn't sound like taste really nice. But it's like I just don't want to contribute to that side of things. Like, so it's just a simple for me. It wasn't like a really difficult decision. It was just kind of like, oh, I don't fancy partaking in this. I'm just not going to do it now and cracking on with the rest.
The only real argument a meat eater can have, I am a meat eater, obviously, is that it's comfortable and you don't. I know it would be a change, and I'm not sure. I
always have so much more respect for anyone who just says that, and they're like, you know what? Just can't be arsed, mate. Yeah. It's like fair enough, and then it's just like, don't try and argue.
Versus like, but you. A lion eats it though. Or plants feel pain, I'll do that.
He's a canine,
cool.
Right?
I was like deer and gorillas, and you go, they're much bigger canines.
But we were to like hunt, and it's like, when was the last time you went on a hunt?
Yeah, I was going to say,
I've never seen you with like a bow and arrow. Like
they think we were scavengers, didn't they? Like the way we kind of...
They did eat plant-based food. Like, it was one of the big parts of the diet.
Omnivores,
how rare it would be to actually be able to catch an animal and eat it. They weren't like feasting every night on like...
We say they, like we're talking about a specific group of people. Your type.
Like,
we evolved over a billion years everything else.
That being said though, we became endurance hunters, didn't we? Like, because of our ability to sweat through our skin, and we obviously have less hair than animals, we were able to endure the longer distances.
Well, I think one of the big things as well is there's calories in meat. So they were saying, like, obviously, it's easier to cram in a load of calories by eating meat, but it's like, well, we don't...
But how many people would say, like... we were made to eat meat, so I'm going to continue.
Yeah.
And we'd also been made to go for like literally hours, and like humans can beat most animals over like 100 miles. Like it's a long distance, but always like beating with other mammals and stuff. How many of them would never run a 5k?
Yeah.
It's like, I need to eat meat. We were born that way. We were born to be endurance. No, I'm going to sit on the couch all day.
I'm ordering delivery.
I'm only eating steak and that's it.
The reason why we're here nowadays is we are adaptable.
Yeah,
we can adapt to a lot of things. Yeah. I don't like the extremes too much. I think the biggest argument I've had with me vegan diet in the past was just the bioavailability of how your body processes. For example, beta carotene into vitamin A, retinol. Like I've always kind of researched into those things, thinking because I've had acne in the past, and the vitamin A was something that I researched a lot into. And I try getting my diet high in vitamin A through vegan sources, plant-based sources, and obviously meat as well. And I was always just kind of torn between, surely if your body can't process certain minerals such as beta carotene and process it effectively into vitamin A, then does it have the same effect as if you didn't get it through an egg source, for example, which is basically pure retinol.
Yeah.
And that's the only argument that I can kind of think of logically that sways me. But then when I've got someone who's the strongest man under 90 doing it, it kind of defeats that.
Do you know Eric Helms?
No.
As in the bodybuilder. Oh, he's really... Eric Helms is like obviously well respected in the industry. He's a doctor or whatnot. But he does a lot of work with PAC as well. But he's a vegan, and I did a seminar with him, or went to read one, and like literally he came up with all these slides, all these statistics and that, and it's just, at the end of the day, from what I can't spout all of the, reference everything on it, but it's just, it's not that different is the main consensus. Maybe like certain nuances, like you said, that like, there's better amino acid profile in one thing versus the other. Yeah. But in terms of a whole diet, when you take everything into consideration, it's just like, it's not that different. So it depends how much of a nuance you want to go into your diet. But me personally, I'm like, I think kind of eat what I fancy.
For a lot of people, I think people go, I might have the vegan conversation with someone and they'll start bringing up stuff like that. And I'm sure you've probably researched it more and been more into it. But I think a lot of people will go, I'm going to assume there's something wrong about the vegan diet, so now I'm going to find what that thing is. Versus what they actually eat all the time has got all these things that would be wrong with it. Like, you're going to be deficient in this if you carry on eating what you're normally eating. This is bad for you. This is terrible. They go, but I think in the vegan diet, hemine's not as bioavailable than this. So I'm not going to even bother thinking about it ever again.
And it's like everyone's not eating like, grass-fed perfect meat as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of
100%.
people are eating.
Well, people talk about B12. That's something you can't. But B12 is a bacteria in soil, so humans would have got it foraging and scavenging and picking up stuff and having dirty food, right? And that's how animals get it, and that's why it's in meat, because they'll be grass-fed and stuff. So a lot of non-grass-fed animals are given B12 supplements, and that's how you get it. You get it through a supplement that the cow ate or whatever. And that's how you get yours. So you may as well just supplement it yourself, kind of thing. But I think as a vegan, cause I'm not. People think like a raw food. If all you eat is veg and fruit, which is not what veganism is. If that's all it was, then yeah, you'd struggle and you'd be very deficient.
I mean,
but,
there is raw vegan, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, and that's not a thing I'd recommend or you need to even worry about. And it's like being plant-based versus being vegan. And for me, it's the animal side of things versus plant-based of like, I think this is going to be spiritually better for me. I'm going to be raw with the earth, whatever. It's not about that. But when you, if it's, again, I'm going to lose my train of thought, but when it comes to the, what you can eat, there's not one vegan diet. So someone goes vegan, goes, I think I'm going to be deficient in this or that. There's so many, it's such a wide range of vegan sources you can have.
Yeah.
Whereas carnivore is a lot more restrictive. There are only a few different meats and fishes you're going to eat. But in terms of vegan foods, there's thousands of different options. So if someone goes, I got a bit sick on a vegan diet, it didn't work for me. Yeah. It's like that one version of 100,000 different vegan diets might not have worked for you. There's lots of different ways you can look at it. And
the carnivore guys, I think they just stink, man. I bet they stink. Liver King was apparently they said Liver King he stank.
He didn't watch. Kind of like, I'm living as a whatever it was. Like
that's social media. Like, you'll go viral if you're a weirdo.
15,000 £15,000 a month growth hormone helps.
I follow it because I quite enjoy the weird content. Like the people I follow usually isn't just like, I don't know, I don't want to feel like I'm in an echo chamber. So obviously I'm vegan, but he'll pop up videos of him like eating a raw bit of liver, and it seems weird. But I genuinely quite enjoy just how mental that.
It's weird, isn't it?
And I shouldn't be his target market, but I still kind of follow it because I'm like, this guy.
Take his ancestral supplements, man.
Yeah, he's going on a spiral recently. He's like, his mind. Yeah.
Oh, he's mental at the moment, isn't he? Like where he's fucking flown off. Oh. But he obviously did what I think it was £15,000 a month of growth hormone was.
Oh yeah, that was
the like he was trying to claim natural. Yeah. Like it's ridiculous.
I think that's like, I think when I first got into lifting, it was like this fake natty versus real. I think a lot of like people think of health and fitness in the gym. They think of it as like basically kind of like amateur bodybuilding. Like it's all about hypertrophy versus fat loss.
Yeah.
I think that's such a small part of the whole in terms of strength training, cardio, just building your physique is such a, and your what your body's able to do, such a small part of it. But anyway, when I was looking at that, it was like, everyone was like, building muscle versus not. And if you wanted to be, had a sponsorship or be backed by this brand, you needed to be natural, because we're not going to be associated by someone who takes gear. So you get all these guys, like Simeon Panda or whatever back in the day, and I was like, these guys, they're natty though, so I can achieve this physique or whatever. That becomes the issue. It's when there's money and politics behind it. I think in the gym these days, or the strongman community, you go, what do you take? Oh yeah, I take this, and everyone's very open about it. And if you're in it, and if you allow, I'm circling right back, but if you allow other federations or spaces where it's okay to be someone that takes gear and not have to be hiding behind it, then people become a lot more open. It becomes a thing people can do safely, talk about, actually educate people a lot better, so people don't go, get inspired by these influencers that are leading them down a wrong path, or they're just lying to them and gaslighting.
It made me think of this question the other day that I'll ask both of you. Would you rather look like you're really strong and fit and athletic, but obviously not the case, or would you actually rather be fit and athletic and really strong but don't necessarily look at it? Like, majority of the strongest guys I know don't look particularly strong. Do you know what I mean? Or, the most athletic guys I know don't really
look great, mate.
I look all right.
You look good.
I get a lot of people go, you strong man? I go, yeah. They go, are you good?
Usually it will be like, once I'm confident, it will be like, I do powerlifting or whatever. No, all right. That's weight class, isn't it? Yeah, you got weight classes in there.
It's worse when you take steroids and people are like, oh, do you?
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, shit.
So what would you then, Nick? Would you prefer to look strong or be strong?
So I've been both. I've been big
and I've been weighing.
Yeah.
No, in the military I was really fit and like really good endurance, but I just looked skinny and like beanpolly, and I didn't like how I looked. And then I've also been big, but I've lost that, and I kind of liked the big, because you got more respect from people.
But that's what I mean. It's interesting, isn't it? Because you enter a gym space, especially in the industry we're in, and it's like there is an element of like, you've got to look the part. So whether or not you have all the knowledge behind you, but or like from me and Tom, for instance, coaching open guys is like a big thing. Like coaching open athletes when we're smaller athletes, myself more, is like a bit of a like, oh, why am I going to listen to you? You haven't like worn my shoes type of thing. But it's like, well, if the knowledge is there. Whereas if you look like if you're a big massive guy and you might not even be that strong, but you look the part, people are going to buy into what you're saying more, rightly or wrongly.
What would you boys pick then? Oh, I'm interested.
I'd rather be strong.
I
couldn't care less that much about the aesthetics.
There's going to be a sliding scale.
You're not as insecure.
If someone's like, you have to look like just look disgusting, like you're so fat, balding. Versus like, oh, your physique's going to be really good and you're going to be kind of strong. It's like, okay, we're looking at it. But I won Britain's Strongest Man Tonight this year, the untested, the official strongman one. And I was probably the only, I think there was 2 of us that were natural there. And compared to everyone else, they were taking their shirts off with the stones. And like, these guys are 8 times the size of me and have 8 times less body fat percentage, right? They're so much more ripped than I am. I'm like, if you went for your pointy shirt, I was taking off all pale. Everyone seems to be like all tanned and like red.
It's just blood.
Yeah, it might be. But anyway, I was coming off like, and sort of going, you wouldn't think I was the guy who's going to win this competition. Like, if you said, who do you reckon wins? Well, it's not that one, pointing at me or whatever. So there is like, you don't have to be a bodybuilder to be strong, and it's that sort of.
No, I'm telling you. Right, so I did SAS selection, right? I failed, just to let you know. But the guys in there are nothing like what you'd expect. Like they're normal guys down the pub, like little pot belly, can do fucking 2-mile run in under 10 minutes. Yeah, ridiculous.
Do you watch much UFC at all? Or you...
A little bit, but not much.
Well, like Daniel Cormier. Like, he's ridiculous. Like, he's like the, ridiculous athlete, but you would look at him and be like, nah.
Nate Diaz.
Nate Diaz, yeah, exactly. Like, there's some athletes in the UFC that you look at and you're like, this does not look like the most deadliest person on the planet, but he would literally kill you.
He would, yeah. It's mad.
Yeah. Great, but I want both. Give me both. Give me both. Look part of building, man.
Do you ever see Bro Science, like Don Mazzetti on YouTube? It's like back in the day.
Bro Science.
Bro Science, like, he's a character, right? The Italian character. So he'd be like, I remember watching a video when I was literally in uni, like considering, like, should I take steroids? Like when I was quite young. And it was like a pros and cons of steroids. Obviously it's a skit. Yeah. But he's putting like the pros, like, pros of steroids. You got your size and your strength. Because obviously the size, it doesn't matter how strong you are, it's how strong you look like you are. That's what really is important. He's like, if size is Jordan, then you've got Scottie Pippen's the strength. Like, it's nice if you're strong as well, I guess. Doesn't really matter. And it's like, it's like looking big. And then I remember going through uni, starting I was like 60 kilos when I was 18 years old, getting to uni, building some muscle. And as soon as I was like actually started putting on muscle, there was a lot more respect from people around you. Like, sorry, mate. Like actually just like acknowledging you and giving you space or whatever it was. I felt like, this feels good. People think that I'm this, this different guy. I'm the same person inside, but you just look on the outside so much bigger and more muscular and suddenly.
It's all about the illusion.
Something that commands respect. You're worthwhile of someone's attention or whatever. Yeah, it's weird, but actually being strong gives you the actual inner confidence. It's not
luckily we don't have to choose between the two because we can have both, right? To some degree. So in an ideal world, we can do that.
Balance out. We're going to round off now. So you guys can plug away of your services where people can find more about you. That middle camera is yours. Plug away your services. Just this one straight here.
There we go. Yeah. Well, Barbell Division Southampton. That's where me and Tom coach out of. Swing down, train at the gym, or message us on either of our respective Instagrams for coaching.
You've got the
strength athletes.
Aaron Page event coming up.
Aaron Page event. Aaron Page Classic is next weekend. I don't know when it will be. It's 22nd of November, but I don't know when you'll be putting this out. So if it'll get.
We'll drop you guys.
For them. Yeah.
But
very good.
Head over to our Instagram. I'm sure you'll see lots on that if you don't know.
Yeah. See if I can beat the untested guys in that. Cause I'm
without a doubt. You will.
There you go.
Go prediction there.
5 minute Instagram, coach.butts. And if you want to get into some strongman stuff, then I'm your guy. There you go.
Sorted. Well, thank you guys for coming on. We really appreciate you. Make sure you guys like, follow, subscribe. Send it to your mum, your nan, your dog. Catch you later.